What's up guys, Houndish here, and today we're jumping in with a quick Destiny 2 update video. We've just had a patch for the game. This is the one where Bungie promised changes for the Nether, as well as a handful of fixes. So we'll round up everything that's just gone live with the patch. But Bungie also give updates regarding content we'll get in Act 2. They confirm that future upgrades for the Barrow-Dyad are actually time-gated for a little while now. We'll cover that, as well as some known issues, and a preview for the Iron Banner, the new weapon that we'll get access to next week when the event rolls around, some significant changes to the playlist, additional cosmetics, and a few other things in the video. So if you guys enjoy this one and find it useful, a rating below really does help us out. But now, let's get into it. Before we touch on the patch notes for the update we've just had now, a couple of other mentions from Bungie, and they first recognise that the Sunder Doctrine isn't allowing support auto rifles to work correctly, so they're aware of an issue where No Hesitation and Adamantite are not applying their secondary effects like Restoration or Unraveling during the Altered Convolution encounter, and they're currently investigating a fix for a future update. So a minor-ish one there, but they've also said we're aware of an issue where particle reconstruction is stacking with certain weakened sources and overriding others, and are currently planning a fix for this in an upcoming patch. So there's some weirdness there to be aware of. Otherwise, they say they're investigating an issue where the 0-hour exotic mission can't be completed. More info will be provided on that when they can. Otherwise, for the Barrow-Dyad, they say clarification for players unlocking intrinsic perks and catalysts for it. The Moment of Clarity upgrade requirement on Step 5 of the Dyadic Ascension quest will be available when Act 2 launches. So basically no more intrinsic upgrades or catalysts until Act 2, which is about a month from now. Kind of a weird choice on Bungie's part right there. It does make me wonder whether they perhaps switched around some of the content rollout later on in development and brought the exotic mission forward. It's a possibility, and it's a shame no further upgrades are available at the minute, as the weapon probably needs it. Personally, I can't say I mind it too much. I enjoyed the exotic mission. I'm glad that we got it on week 2. I wouldn't want to change that, but yeah, a little bit frustrating that we have to wait a few weeks to continue making progress on it. But share your thoughts down below. Otherwise, I guess it's worth getting the first couple of steps done for the Dyadic Ascension quest as we wait. Give us your thoughts in the comment section. Next up though, let's get on to the patch changes for today. This is the first update for Heresy, so it's update 8201. And starting out, seasonal content wise, we have the Nether. And Bungie say they fixed an issue where several healing sources were providing less health restoration than intended. But they also fixed an issue where some perks could kickstart passive health restoration, resulting in more health restoration than intended. Plus they fixed an issue that was causing a high rate of guitar errors. On top of that, they adjusted some scaling values in addition to the above healing sources changed, and they'll continue to monitor how challenging the solo experience feels. That is in relation to the exploration version of the Nether. So a kind of generic improvement on healing sources, I guess, some additional tuning for the exploration mode in particular. We'll just have to kind of jump in and see how it actually feels. Also interesting that they fixed some perks that could start passive health restoration, which will give it more than intended. I'm guessing that's referring to things like Knockout on the Titan, which has been really strong, basically can put you back to full health in most instances. So either way, the point being that the Nether should be more approachable, and I'm curious to try it out on Explore and the Expert version as well. So give us any experiences you have with that below. Otherwise, for Revenant content, they fixed an issue where some versions of Onslaught, Tomb of Elders, and Kelsfall were missing modifiers, plus one where the major fieldworks could not be accessed. Then for dungeons and raids, they fixed an issue where raids and dungeons showed burns and surges, so that wasn't supposed to be a thing, and no longer will be, apparently. Then for exotic missions and the Whisper, they fixed an honestly amazing issue where Tolgar, Aspect of Agony, was somehow replaced by Jimmy, Aspect of Placeholding. We wish you the best, Jimbo. Back to work, Tolgar. Otherwise though, for gameplay and investment, exotic armor-wise, the Radiant Dance Machine change is now live, and they've temporarily excluded the Last Word and Dead Man's Tale from getting the hipfire range and accuracy buffs. They've said they'll revisit this in the future to enable them to interact with the exotic in a more balanced manner. Otherwise, they've retuned the dodge refund portion, and they've reduced the amount of energy gained from primary weapon kills against Guardians from 100% to 33% when class ability energy is not full, and with full class ability energy, triggering the effect will continue to grant an additional temporary charge. Temporary charges are removed on death, death after use or in phase transitions. So it sounds like that is a PvP only change to Radiant Dance machines, which is pretty good. Otherwise, for armor ornaments, they fixed an issue where the chain piston ornament for Syntheseps was not present in the armor inspection menu. Then on exotic weapons, they fixed an issue where Microcosm could get heavy ammo from picking up special ammo bricks, and the weapon has been re-enabled game-wide. For weapon perks, they fixed an issue where auto-loading holster could be activated without stowing the weapon. I didn't know that was a thing. And otherwise, for weapon ammo, they fixed an issue where standard PvE ammo bricks were granting less ammo than intended, so that's another useful change. As well as a fix for the issue where the Overload machine gun perk wasn't granting overload to machine guns. But finally, they say the pursuit for the Vault of Glass deep sight weapons, the quest from Hawthorne, can now be completed once a week per account for a guaranteed deep sight weapon. And otherwise, they fixed a problem where the Lunar New Year accessories didn't appear in collections, and a weapon issue that could cause guitar errors or the game to crash. So some good changes there. I'm curious to try out the Nether on the most part, but otherwise, they've touched on disabled exotics, the Overload machine gun thing, the Radiant Dance machines thing, and yeah, it's nice to get some fixes in the game, so give us your thoughts on them below. Final thing I wanted to talk about here though, is that Iron Banner indeed returns next week for the first time in the episode. So that'll be on February 18th with the weekly reset. Iron Banner will now be a 1-week event instead of 2, but we will get the event returned 3 times in the episode. So Bungie are essentially going back to what we had a year or so ago. And there will now be an Iron Banner quick play rotator. So Iron Banner will be broken up into 2 playlists, each one replacing the existing node on the Crucible Director. Quick play will be the new home for Eruption, Fortress, Tribute, and eventually Rift, and will feature the open skill matchmaking system utilized by other quick play playlists. So if you want to play more party-oriented Iron Banner modes, Bungie say this will be the playlist. On top of that, all standard Iron Banner rewards can be earned in that playlist, so that's good. Couple of new cosmetic items. Firstly, there is the Saladin's Pride emblem for this season, so I think that will be a rank reward, and the same can be said for the new shader, the Banner's Bearer. One weapon players will be very excited to check out though will be the Warlord Spear, which is the new adaptive frame trace rifle. So it's an arc trace rifle, and as we can see it has a little bit of a different model on it, which is somewhat refreshing at least. For the traits, in slot 1 it can get dynamic sway reduction, envious assassin, high impact reserves, rewind rounds, and then hipfire grip or loose change. With the second slot able to get desperate measures, killing tally, jolting feedback, target lock, and then there is 4th times the charm and detonator beam, where dealing sustained damage creates an explosion around the target. I haven't tried that. It's a new trace rifle perk for this episode, so it can drop on the dungeon trace. There's going to be a trace rifle for Guardian Games, and of course Warlord Spear, so that will definitely be one to try out, but otherwise, jolting feedback will be nice on a trace rifle, no doubt, and it has killing tally if you're after the damage bonus. And you can either go for things like Envious Assassin or rewind rounds to affect the magazine, or indeed loose change, which would pair well with jolting feedback and potentially detonator beam. And it has the Iron Banner Skulking Wolf Origin trait, where while at low health, Guardian final blows with the weapon grant enhanced radar and remove you from opposing radar. And Bungie made a change where PvE combatants become less accurate when targeting you if you do run it in PvE, so it has some utility there as well. So it looks like a pretty cool thing. Let us know if you're interested to pick that up. Otherwise, Peace Bond got an update for this episode too, which is an adaptive burst stasis sidearm. Slot 1 can get Headstone, Moving Target, Lone Wolf, Rangefinder, Subsistence, or Zen Moment, with slot 2 able to get Rhyme Stealer, Desperate Measures, Headseeker, Desperado, which will certainly be a first for sidearms, I think. Plus there is Frenzy or Kill Clip in that second slot as well. Those are the new weapons for the episode. Otherwise, the things which were introduced last episode, including the armor, will still be available, and we'll have all of the focusing options. Plus, I imagine there'll probably be some folks still going after good rolls on things like Tenacious Mastery or Archon Thunder. So there's Iron Banner next week with some pretty good changes. Also, Trials will be this weekend with very significant changes, and we broke those changes down with a bit of new info in a video earlier on, so that will be linked below if you want to check it out. But for today, guys, that's what we have to speak about. So if you've enjoyed the video, a rating really does help us out on the channel. Let us know your thoughts on the changes Bungie have implemented today. But otherwise, thank you for watching, and I will catch you guys very soon.